and take all of those people out and throw them in a hole and pump thousands of gallons of gasoline in on top of them and set them all on fire. And listen to the screams!
From the Asgard Company Studios in beautiful Wichita Falls, Texas, from the finest mind in the modern fitness industry, the one true voice in the strength and conditioning profession, the most important podcast on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, starting Strength Radio.
Hello. Welcome to Starting Strength Radio. It's Friday, and here we are again to have serious, important conversations about virtually all topics. Can you see how serious I'm approaching this? We're very serious here at Starting Strength Radio. And I wish we could be more serious than we already are. But I just don't know how to be more serious than this. I mean, there are serious things going on right now, and we need to be serious about them. Let me share something with you from comments from the haters. Okay. Here, this is, got to put a lot of thought into this. Daryl Urbanski says, I used to respect you. Clearly, you're slipping. I'm in Vietnam, no pandemic here. Why? Because people didn't say it could last forever and use it as an excuse to throw caution into the wind. They took all precautions, and now we don't need masks. We don't need to social distance. There's no pandemic here. Just because you're an expert at strength training doesn't make you a health expert. For a guy so smart, you really are perpetuating stupidity. 6 to 8 months into the AIDS epidemic, the medical consensus was 1 week of fever followed by recovery. Oops, turns out it's a lifelong disease. Case fatality rate doesn't tell you things like that. A real scientist doesn't hope this isn't like the Spanish flu. Doesn't hope masks actually don't work. Doesn't hope it's not a lifelong disease. Plenty of data showing masks work. This is respiratory virus. How is it so hard to fathom a mask reduces airflow in and out of your face? Nobody is getting sick from absorbing it through their skin. U.S. has the worst performance handling this disease, and it's because of nonsense like this. You don't care my opinion, I'm sure. This is the first true statement that has been uttered in this entire comment. So, anyway, he's going to unsubscribe.
Oh, God. No.
This is a tragic loss.
How are we going to survive this?
Can you believe? Look, Daryl, sweetie pie, you know what the television in Vietnam has told you, and that's all you know, all right? Television in Vietnam is certainly a wonderful source for things like this, but so please unsubscribe, all right? Here's another one. I'm on the verge of unsubscribing. This video, I can't tell if he's saying masks are pointless or if he's just making a jackassy joke or what. Every one of these podcasts I click on starts with him arrogantly mocking people that criticized his advice or one of the people following his teachings. He must think that the comments from the haters are from people criticizing my advice. Boy, and the devastating criticism that we run into here on Starting Strength Radio certainly is enough to make anyone doubt my sanity, doubt my ability to, think, certainly, right? I see zero humility and zero effort to maintain respect from anyone. Like this next guy, Rip got a big head. I've clearly made no effort to maintain his respect, have I?
Wait, is he talking figuratively or literally?
Is that the name of his?
I don't know what
YouTube
head he's
account?
talking about. I have
No, is that the name of his YouTube? This guy made a YouTube account called Rip has, or is that the comment?
No, that's the comment.
Oh, that's the comment.
It's
Okay.
David Rogers.
Got it. Okay.
Which is probably a fake name, but I don't know. These people are stupid enough to put their real name on here.
If
Like,
they give a shit,
who makes up a name like Daryl Urbanski?
if they care that much about their,
That's not a Vietnamese name, by
it's
the
not.
way.
But if they care
Daryl
that much
Urbanski.
about who they give their subscribes to, I'm sure it's his real fucking name.
Could be. And then here is, believe it or not, but Ripple Tits doesn't even need to run to maintain his physique. Now, I've clearly
It's
lost
actually-
his respect.
Yeah. And his
You see how this is progressing through this?
And his
This
subscription.
loss of respect is, right? And this video made me die of laughter. COVID may have also been a contributing factor. Well,
So COVID actually is what killed him.
COVID's what killed him. Of course.
You just throw him into statistics.
200,000 Americans, Mr. Trump.
210,000 Americans.
210,000.
Man, that is so many.
Yes. All because I told them not to wear masks. And they believed my stupid ass.
Right.
Because masks are, virus catchers. It's amazing. It's just
Is that all the
amazing.
hater comments?
And that's all of the comments from the haters that we're going to read this week.
Someone
Right.
put together a 12-minute video. I wish I remembered who, of comments from the haters. Just a compilation.
Are you serious?
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Fantastic.
If we find it, we'll put a link to it.
Yeah, we need a link to
it's
that.
fantastic.
How you could
It's hilarious.
stand to do that?
We got a couple things. It's a great shirt you're wearing. Rippetoe Salt Mining.
Everybody see the shirt. I think it's stupid to have a shirt with my name on it, but
Hard and salty
I
is
wasn't-
better than soft and sweet.
I wasn't consulted about it. I want everybody to know. I had no idea they were doing this. This is just, But since we got the goddamn things in inventory, I thought, well, wear it.
Oh, they're not in inventory.
Maybe somebody will buy one. They're not?
No, you get them on Amazon.
You get them on Amazon.
Yeah, it's print on demand. So when you order one, Amazon prints it and sends it to you.
Well, who put this on Amazon?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
See, I was not consulted about this. And, I don't want you
There
to
was a-
think that I wander around with my name on my shirt,
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, you fucked up because about 2 years ago I said, Rip, we should have a bunch of gym T-shirts that I sell on Amazon.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, go ahead. So there you go.
Fuck.
There you go.
Okay. Well, so anyway, buy the damn thing. Okay, now we're gonna do Q&A again. We had a big pile left over from last time, so we thought we would go ahead and clean that up and answer some of your very good questions here on Q&A.
Do you want to talk
Questions from the this is
before you do that, you want to talk about things to remember? We gotta do something. I got one for you if you don't have it.
I don't have it here.
Bree,
It wasn't brought in.
You said you had it.
you said you printed it out.
No, you said you had it.
Well, somebody didn't print it out, and I certainly as hell don't have it. So
Well, you want me to just, you want me to
just,
give you one?
just throw it in there. Why
Okay.
don't you?
September
All right.
10th, 2001.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers what happened on September.
On the next day,
the very next
you know
morning.
what happened on September 10th, 2001?
On-
Wichita Falls Athletic Club opened its doors in its new location at 3118
Oh, no
Buchanan.
shit.
On September the 10th, 2001. Yes. And then the next day,
You caused the terrorist attack?
I
They were just
I don't
pissed off.
they have heard about it and said
Well-
something has to be done.
Well, this might be relevant then. So
right.
September 10th, 2001, Wichita Falls Athletic Club opens its doors
Yes.
at the current
At
location.
the current location, 3118
and
Buchanan.
on that day, now there's YouTube videos of this, but here I'm looking at archive.defense.gov. Donald Rumsfeld says the following. And I just lost it. There it is right here. Yeah.
Donald Rumsfeld, he was so good as a defense secretary.
Well, it takes some time. And indeed, as you know, sometimes you need to invest some money up front to make savings. For example, we're going to have to revamp our financial system so that we can actually understand what's taking place. At the present
Like we
time,
don't know what's taking place.
At the present time, the financial systems aren't capable of tracking some $2.6 trillion worth of transactions.
Really?
That's an important thing to remember, I think.
That the financial system is not
Of
capable
the Defense Department. Are
of
not-
the Defense Department's
Yes.
not capable
So-
of tracking
so
2.6
basically-
trillion in transactions.
Basically,
Well, in other words,
right before 9/11.
Well, up to that point.
yeah.
And
And
then the next day,
it didn't improve thereafter.
I'm just saying, it's a good thing to remember, because the
Yes.
next day some shit happened and people forgot a bunch of
And
stuff.
you know what? At the time, what was the national debt
Oh, I don't know.
on September the 10th, 2001? The national debt was probably in the vicinity of $7 or $8 trillion.
And
Might not have been 6. I don't know.
What is it now?
$27 trillion. And in other words, it's just a concept.
Sure, of course.
We have changed our economy from an economy to just a
concept.
ledger system.
Right.
It's just
Well, let
a
me ask you
ledger
this.
system.
If the IRS came to you tomorrow and said, Rip, can you account for these $2.6 trillion in transactions that you did in the last 15 years?
Yeah.
And you were like, nah. You'd
I'd say, do I have to?
You'd have to answer for some shit.
Do I have to? And they'd say, well, yeah, in fact, you do have to. But the Defense Department, of course, is absolved of that responsibility. So
Especially
it has
given
always been absolved
of course,
of that
especially
responsibility.
given the events of the following day.
Yes, the events of the following day would have overwhelmed Mr. Rumsfeld's public statement to that effect, would it not have? Well, as it turns out, it did. I wonder what they're spending now that they don't.
I wonder if
have
they can.
any.
I wonder if they can account for transactions today.
No, they don't have to. They're not going
Right.
to. You have to do. You do things you don't have to do, especially if you work for the government. Does a government employee ever do things he doesn't have to do? Now that's really the question, isn't it? Yeah, but they're the perfect ones to manage COVID-19,
That's right.
aren't
Yeah.
There we go.
this is the perfect
There we go.
organization to get to deal with this.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's for your own
Oh
safety.
God.
We're gonna say
It's for your own. It's for your own safety. Wear the mask. Take the vaccine. Eat the cock.
That'll be an
Yeah.
interesting time, won't it, when the vaccine comes out?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting
It's going to be very interesting.
how they do that. You can either take the vaccine or eat this plate of shit. Here's a plate of shit. Here's the vaccine.
How,
It's your choice. Look, you can do whatever you want to do as long as it's one of these two things. Right.
how much you want to bet they're going to have a card you get when you get the vaccine?
Oh, that's already been printed.
Yeah.
They've already got those ready. That was designed months ago.
And then businesses will need that card for you to do transaction with to go into the business.
Well, if you're going to fly on an airplane, if you're going to
Right.
use public transportation, you're going to have to be vaccinated against this one virus. Because it's the only one that kills people. See, people just fall over dead from COVID-19, but nothing else. Right? TB, no problem. Like that. Right? Malaria, yeah.
No big deal.
But COVID-19, with a death rate of 0.0031%, that motherfucker's got to be.
It's got to be dealt with,
It's got to be dealt with.
no matter the cost.
Oh shit! Oh, it's just too bizarre to even
really weird.
sit here and think about.
really
Really,
weird.
and it's just really the whole damn thing is a really bad science fiction movie.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Okay. Now let's get into the meat, as we say, of the podcast today. Mark listened with great interest to your recent podcast on running. Would love to hear your thoughts on further aspects of this. Setting aside extreme running, 20-mile-plus events, what of the medically beneficial goal of speed, stamina, and recovery rate? How could one use mainly barbell training to be a great basketball or soccer player? Would seem many parts of the conditioning puzzle getting left out here. Well, let me ask you a question. Are you proposing that all you do to be a great basketball or soccer player is barbell training? And how do we make a great basketball or soccer player out of a person who only trains with barbells? Is that actually your question? I'm really seriously puzzled by this. Could an advanced flow sport athlete reach required conditioning level by focusing primarily on slow and heavy lifts alone? Isn't fast, sustained motion also required? Thus, need for training kettlebells, plyometrics, sled pushing, sprinting, battle ropes, Olympic lifts, etc.
Have they never watched?
Have you? What do you goddamn idiots think that soccer players and basketball players don't practice basketball and soccer while they're getting stronger? And we're not trying to get them doing 800 deadlift. You know, we're not trying to get them doing 800 deadlift. We're just trying to get them to like a 405 deadlift. All right, which any athlete ought to be able to do. So this is really kind of a stupid question, but I mean, the guy is from Thailand, so maybe we could be racist on every one of these responses today, just to piss everybody off.
On every single one.
On every single one of them. This guy's from Thailand. What the fuck kind of question would this be? I mean, I should have seen Thailand and not even read it.
That's what I would have done.
Right? Where'd my SS shirt go? Just out of curiosity. Oh, I've got this stupid-ass looking thing on today. Can we make a starting strength shirt with the lightning bolts? and then trademark that as a word mark?
I think the Nazis already have.
The Nazi? No, all that expired. I'm telling you, that expired.
Trademark
I think we
expired.
ought to trademark the lightning bolt SS. And then when somebody asks us about it, we'll say starting strength. Starting strength.
Then we could sue
SS,
all,
right?
We could sue
Starting
all the
strength.
Nazis too.
Then we could go back and sue the Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, we could sue the neo-Nazis. They're still using it.
Still using it.
And
Are
they're-
they?
They're too stupid. To,
We could sue them. Think of the money we'd make
Yeah.
They're so rich.
on that lawsuit.
Yeah.
They're too stupid to trademark anything. So. Bree,
They're just too mean to trademark anything.
get on it, Bree.
Right. All right. I've heard many ways on training grip strength. How do you teach for grip strength? Martin Vita asked this question. Well, we teach for grip strength by deadlifting. Get your deadlift up to 5 plates with a double overhand grip. That is grip strength. Right? Goes up with your deadlift. Problem solved. Hold it. Wait. Put that in the wrong place. It's where we put our answered questions. Right?
That's right. Just toss them.
And it's good enough for Johnny Carson. It's good enough for me. Okay. Hi, Rip. My name is Damon, and I've been doing starting strength for about 5 weeks now, and I'm happy with the results. It's the only program I've ever done that works. I've gotten my squat from 50 kilos to 92.5, deadlift from 50 to 115, bench from 30 to 55, and press from 20 to 39.5. I've also gained 18 pounds as a so-called hard gainer by drinking milk. However, being from the UK, the COVID restrictions can be quite stringent, and we no longer seem to care at all about the economy. No, you don't, do you? A lot of people have forgotten about the economy, and they will continue to forget about the economy until it comes time to pay sales tax and property tax. And then the economy will suddenly be important again. Oh, shit. Despite the fact that all the gyms in my country are following the rules with regards to social distancing and cleaning, it has been announced today that they will all be closed as part of a local lockdown to be reviewed on a monthly basis. Monthly basis. This is pretty bad for me, as I've had pretty severe depression since I was 19. He's now 28. And I found nothing helps me more mentally than doing your program. Unfortunately, due to finances, savings, and having no lifting buddies, setting up a home gym isn't an option. Damon, I'm sorry, my friend, you're fucked. It's not your fault, is it? But you're fucked nonetheless. Now, we have heard many people over the years who suffered from depression that training fixes that, and we're convinced that it does. We're with you on this, but you live in a totalitarian society. Had you been riding in from communist China, would be no different. You're going to do what you people have agreed to do, exactly what your government tells you to do at all times. That's what you have agreed to do. You shouldn't have agreed to that. But agreed to it you did, and here you are. And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can't do barbell training without barbells. Now, can you? Well, you can get outside in the hour that you're permitted to be outside of your home and run a little bit or do some push-ups on whatever they call the porch in the UK. Probably got some stupid-ass word for it. Whilst.
Is it whilst,
Whilst.
or whilst?
What whilst?
Is it whilst?
I don't know what it
short
is.
E, a short I?
You can do some push-ups. You can do push-ups on your whilst.
Whilst.
I thought you were making it up.
No. Whilst is the people in emails and in articles in America will say whilst because it's
It sounds smart.
cheaply bought intelligence.
Yes,
Right.
right.
And because it sounds sophisticated and cheap, it sounds stupid.
It's
is what
about
it sounds like.
it's at the same level of saying irregardless.
Irregardless, just to
Irregardless.
add
It's the
ear
same,
to regardless doesn't mean.
Anything.
Anyway,
for the people that invented the English language, they don't
They
know how to
fuck it
speak
up real bad.
they fucked it all up.
They don't know
Yeah,
how to speak it. It's fucking crazy. Fucking
it is
Carl,
amazing.
what
Listen
is it,
listen to Carl Ragavan,
Aluminium.
our friend from London. He's lost the ability to pronounce the sound R. Like M-O-R-E is a word, right? More.
Moa.
But he says mo. Mo. Mo.
TH
It's just too much trouble to finish the
Bruffa.
Yeah. TH is F.
Bruffa instead of brother.
bruffa.
Bruffa.
Bruffa. Yeah, he does say that. It's a mangling of the language of the Queen's English or the King's English, whatever they call it now. They have a queen or a king now.
It doesn't.
They've got the same queen, don't they?
Same one.
Same one from
Same old gal. What a grand old lady. She's in her 90s. She's just as tough as a boot, man. You got to respect her.
Well, when you're drinking,
She was there in World War II.
She was.
My God, that's continuity.
Yeah.
well, when
You
you're
know,
drinking the blood of
and yet
children,
a woman that tough has sat there while her country has been turned into a totalitarian surveillance state. Now she doesn't look at it like that, I'm sure. No. If she's even aware of it, I don't know. But it's just a damn shame.
they don't care.
It's a damn shame, is what it is, that such a thing has happened in the goddamn UK. And here's this kid, you know, he's finally found a way to deal with this clinical situation he's got. And these fuckers are preventing him, you know, in the same way they're preventing people from getting diagnosed with melanoma and type 2 diabetes and cancer and tooth decay and every other goddamn thing because of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic.
Global. You gotta add
It's a global pandemic. A global pandemic.
Not Vietnam, though.
Not except everywhere except Vietnam. There's no pandemic. He has got to sit on his ass in his apartment, his flat.
Right.
and do what he's told. You guys agreed to do what you were told. You better rethink that, hadn't you? Have you learned anything? I don't know if you've learned anything. A lot of us have learned things. I don't know about you guys. Okay, dear Rip and company, love what you guys are doing out there in Texas. My question is in regards my mom, who is 65. She is bought in to lifting weights, but currently has no place to barbell train and may not for some time. She does have a place to do farmer's walks till we can find a way to get her squatting, deadlifting, etc. I'm having her do farmer's walks. I understand this is more conditioning, not really strength training, but I figured this would be one of the best exercises she can do that still progressively loads the body. Her farmer's walk handles accept Olympic plates, currently adding 1 1/4 to each handle every week. Workouts are 50 feet, downhill turn, 50 feet back uphill. Times 3 twice a week. She didn't get winded yet. Traps are sore the next day. Hands are fine. Another exercise I'll have her do. All right. We're exercising. We're not training. You do understand this, right? Now, there are several articles on the website about the difference between training and exercise and practice. All these things are critical distinctions here. She's not training. And here's an interesting thing. She's got a place to do farmer's walks, but she doesn't have a place to deadlift. She's got Olympic plates to put on her handles that she's carrying around for the farmer's walks, but you can't get the old gal a bar? What kind of a fucking son deprives his mother of deadlifting? I ask you.
Yeah, if he doesn't have access to a bar.
If he doesn't have access to a bar, he needs to get a bar.
Handles. Or deadlift the handles.
You could deadlift the handles. You could do, there's something you can do. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but it'd be better than this ridiculous approach that you're trying right now. But I think if she has a space, she can farmer's walk. Now, he does mention that it's downhill and uphill, but there's going to be a level spot somewhere.
Right.
She can deadlift. Figure out a way to have her deadlift. At least she can deadlift until, you know, the human race returns to sanity. If it does, I don't know. It's an excellent point. All right. Hey, Rip, in order to gain strength, we need to eat a caloric surplus. I also know that in order for us to gain strength fast and efficiently, we need to eat a lot. But let's say we eat less. We still get stronger, yet slower. 3,000 compared to 4,000 as an example. I read online about some experiments done that tackled this question, and they found out that you can gain strength with smaller surplus, let slowly. What's your opinion on that? Well, how much time you got? You want to take 20 years to get as strong? This is obviously a ridiculous analogy. You want to take 20 years to get as strong as you could get in 2 by going more slowly? How much time you got? Do you need to be strong now, or do you need to be strong at some point off in the distant future when the sun is a red giant and has expanded out to the orbit of Jupiter? Here you are, still getting strong, eating that tiny little surplus instead of a big surplus that would have had you strong, in a normal time frame. Look, the way you get stronger is to grow muscle mass, all right? Growing muscle mass requires that you eat an excess of both protein and calories, and that you require that you apply a stress to the muscles that require them to get bigger. Those are the 2 components of a bigger muscle. And I don't know, if you want to do that slowly, you go ahead and do it slowly. Seems kind of pointless to me. Hello, Rip. I've recently done a body composition analyzer test. The Tanita scale. Anybody know what the hell the Tanita scale is?
Never heard of that one.
Tanita. What does that mean?
That's a brand of scale, I thought.
This is one of these silly-ass things where you stand on it. It tells you your body composition,
yeah.
probably.
Well, Tanita is just a manufacturer. What's he say about the Tanita?
Well, what he says here is that this Tanita scale has been doing, has told him that he is 21% body fat.
Oh, yeah.
According to this test, I should have lower than 20% to be normal weight. This is agonizing to read because
It almost broke you.
because the because the degree of misunderstanding between body composition, body weight, and muscle mass here is just and the fact that you can't determine body composition by standing on anything. I don't know. He wants to goes to add as much strength and muscle as possible without having a fat stomach. Why do you think you're going to get a fat stomach if you take your deadlift from 2.25 to 495? What in that process makes you fat? If you find you're adding too much body fat, you slow down the calories a little bit, but the way you get big and strong is to lift heavier weights, heavier and heavier weights over time. But it sounds to me like you don't want to be big and strong. You just want to have abs or something. I don't know. Different podcast, right? Okay. Here's our friend Justin Nazaroff. He says, perhaps a question you can answer on the show in the future. I suspect you're not a fan of the NFL Combine's bench press test. 2.25 counting the max number of reps. I believe in previous podcasts you said you'd think the overhead press would be a better test, and I tend to agree. Thus, I suppose I have 2 questions, actually. In a perfect world where the fat pink man is in charge of the NFL Combine, and you could do any test you wanted, what would you do and why? And 2, let's say that you had to stick to the bench press. How would you restructure the test protocol to give more relevant data? Body weight for reps, 1 rep max. Regards. All right. I don't really hold the opinion that there's anything wrong with the 2 1/4 for reps test in the combine. What we want to find out in the NFL combine is how strong the kid is. All right. And if a kid can do 5 reps at 2 1/4 and another kid can do 25 reps at 2 1/4, who's stronger? Test showed us what we needed to know, right? Since the reality of the situation is that not anybody that's going to go out for the NFL combine knows how to do an overhead press. You know, our press methodology is slowly expanding through the fitness world, but it's certainly not in a position where anybody that is going to be eligible to walk on at a combine test is going to have done that. So I don't think there's anything to be obtained by changing to the overhead press when what we want to know is how strong you are, and that 2 1/4 for reps tells us what we need to know. No, I don't really think that there's any reason to change that. I think it works pretty well. I think the tests are right now. Most of the combines use 2 1/4 for reps. They use a standing vertical jump, which is an extremely efficient way to assess neuromuscular efficiency. They use the cone drill, and is a method that assesses strength too. It's how fast you can change the direction of movement of your own body's mass. And they use the 40-yard dash, 40-meter sprint, whatever version of it they're talking to. And this tells us a lot of stuff about explosion and strength and power as well. So I think they pretty much know what they're doing. I would like to see added to that probably a deadlift test with 405 for reps. See how many reps you can do at 405. That would change the nature of the preparation for the combine. Now, wouldn't it? That might be a beneficial addition to it. But other than that, I think they pretty much have this down. I was reading Developing Maximal Neuromuscular Power in the journal Sports Medicine. It's basically a large review of the above-mentioned subject. They concluded that lifting heavy weights was highly correlated to big cross-sectional area. But I've always been told that volume is better for hypertrophy, while lifting heavy weights are better for force development and strength. What's my take on this?
Here we go.
Look, you want to get real big, you want to get big legs, big back, get your squat from 135 up to 405. Get your deadlift up from 185 to 495. What's the best way to get from 185 to 495? Sets of 5. Add 5 pounds of workout to your sets of 5 until you're deadlifting 495. And in the process, you've gotten bigger. We don't do sets of 10 because they don't make you as strong. Sets of 5 make you stronger than sets of 10 because 5 is a heavier weight than 10. The process of getting strong requires that you grow. If you go from 185 deadlift to 495 deadlift, you're bigger. Always. No other analysis is necessary. All of this shit, 8 to 12 reps, 5 to 6 sets, minimal rest between sets, on 15 different exercises, it's all bullshit. You guys want to do that, go ahead and do it.
Unless you deadlift 650 pounds, which you don't. The people who are asking this question don't deadlift 650 pounds.
No, they don't. Because if they did deadlift 650 pounds, they'd know how they got big.
Right.
They'd know how it was done. The people that ask this question are the 155-pound kids that have been training at Gold's Gym for 8 weeks.
Right.
That's who asked this question.
That's right.
And they don't want to hear something simple like, we'll go in and deadlift 185 today for one set of 5. And then next time you go in, deadlift 190 for one set of 5. And then 195. And then 200, then 205, and then 210. They don't want to hear that because that's hard. It's easier to wave your legs around in the air on the silly-ass leg extension machine for 8 to 12 reps of 5 to 6 sets with 1 minute between sets. All that shit is, look, if you are strong enough to deadlift 650, then it might benefit you to do a different type of training. But until you are, sets of 5 with more weight every workout are how you get there. All right? Dorian Yates didn't do that shit. If you'll remember, Dorian Yates used lower reps at extremely heavy weights. This guy's 495 incline. Incline benches with 495 for sets of 6. This is a big, strong motherfucker. You know.
And he didn't get there by doing
the pec deck.
275 for sets of 12.
Right. No, that's not how he got there.
That's not how you get it.
That's not how you do that. You get big and strong. The biggest, strongest bodybuilders have all lifted heavy weights because strong means heavy weights. That's all strong means. Okay? I'm 36, 5'8", 172. Little guy. Right? Been doing NLP for past 3 months. I would like to introduce the chin-up. But I have a reservation about doing so. 4 years ago, I sustained a partial tear of the long head of the bicep in the right arm. This was a result of poorly executed weighted dips. Is there an issue with me doing chin-ups given this injury? Well, I'll tell you. I avulsed the long head of my right bicep last year. Now, you can see that doesn't look normal. What happened is the head of the bicep avulsed proximally, wadded up down here, and now it's got a little ball on the side of the thing right there, right? I chin. I do a run, chin-up workout every other week. And a problem for me. And I'm pink. So I warm it up on the lat pull and, try some chin-ups and see what happens. I don't know. I mean, the thing's certainly healed by now. This is 4 years. Whatever it's going to do, it's already done. And I just, my own personal experience with that is that I don't know why you're hesitating. If you don't want to do chins, don't do chins. If you do want to do chins, warm it up on the lat pull and then chin. See what happens. Okay? You have my permission. Dear Rip, can you share with us some stories about the old school one-arm barbell press, one-arm side press, and one-arm snatch? I would like to learn the technique on how to perform these correctly. If you can show us on your channel one day, they look like a lot of fun to do after training. How old do you think I am? I mean, nobody's done the bent press or the one-arm barbell press since the 30s. I'm only 64. I'm a child. All of the guys that did those odd lifts, as we call them, are dead. They're all dead. And I don't have any stories because I've never done them.
Did Phil
because
do any of those in that
because
crazy
they're
shit he was
stupid.
involved in?
Yeah, Phil did all kind of stupid shit in that odd lift. All around weightlifting association.
I found all the records. They're still out there. And he holds like 15 of the records.
Yeah, he did a 500-pound Zercher.
Yeah.
Really?
And a 500-pound Steinborn the same day.
was a 20 lift meet, right? Is that?
Yeah.
That's,
No wonder why he is so fucked up.
He's it's like he's been thrown out of an airplane. He's so fucked up, you know. But he's got a lot of those records because he was crazy, and you know, maybe we'll talk to him about that one day. But
it's fun to hear him talk about it.
But
the bench where you roll
my
the
God.
bench press over your head. I don't remember what that's called, but you lay
I
on
don't
the
either.
ground, roll the shit up, and then press it off of the like.
What?
Yeah.
press it, set it down, and you got to replace it.
Yeah.
You know what the Steinborn is?
Which one is that?
Is it this
That's
one?
where, yeah, it's where you got to have pretty good collars on the bar, right? So you collar the barbell, and you pick one end of it up. So you stand the
squat it
barbell
up, or
up, then you get to the side of it, and you let it fall on you into the squat position. Stand up with it, squat a rep, and then set it back down on the floor. That's the Steinborn. And of course, the Zercher is where you hold it in your.
Right. Yeah.
You imagine this idiot holding a 500-pound barbell in the crook of his elbows?
Yeah.
The human body is an amazing thing.
It is. And Phil's human body is a very amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. 3,000-pound platform. That squat, you know, the belt squat.
Yeah.
3,000 pounds. They're just loading
Back.
it with
They call that the back lift, I think.
something like loading it with farm implements to get enough weight on it.
Girls, you know. They put girls on there for exhibitions. It's like 20 women on the back of this damn thing. And some guy takes his hands and legs and lifts it that far and sets it back.
2 inches.
Sets it back down. Jesus. So insane. Here, look at this.
There you go.
You see that picture? Does that look like it's good for your back? Don't do that shit. That's dumb. All right.
I'm just gonna go down the chart we have in there of all those old lifts and learn all of them.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. With all your health problems,
Yeah, right.
that'd be the smartest thing you could do. Okay, dear Rip, I've been using the starter strength method for a couple of years, but more recently I've returned to the novice linear progression after illness, and I'm making progress. I have a coach and everything, and is moving in the right direction. My question is regarding the evolution of the method, how change happens over time, and what factors present themselves which may lead you to make adjustments to it. My interest in this came from the removal of the cue elbows up in the squat. Originally, I believed the idea was that the chest up and elbows up would lead the appropriate musculature to provide a suitable shelf for the bar to sit on. Now, I believe you cue elbows down, but seek to use the most narrow of grips possible, which will also provide the shelf for the bar to sit on. I'm interested in the process which led to this change. Well, that is kind of an interesting question, and what has happened is that over the years, the people that we have taught to coach this have misinterpreted what the original intent of the cue was. The instructions were to produce a shelf for the bar. I have never, and this is what we're talking about here, like that is called shoulder extension. This is shoulder flexion. Shoulder extension was never meant to be the thing that holds the bar up. Because if the grip is too wide, in order to provide support up the forearm for the barbell, mounted on the heel of the palm right there, if the grip is too wide, then shoulder extension must be used to produce the contracted posterior deltoid on which the barbell sits. If the grip is too wide, you have to extend the shoulders, and in effect, what you're doing is holding the bar up with shoulder extension. In other words, you're holding your elbows up to make a flat spot for the bar to sit on. That's not the idea, because that produces thoracic flexion. It moves the chest down. What we want is thoracic extension, because we want the spine in normal anatomical position. And in thoracic extension, the grip has to be narrow to create the posterior deltoid shelf for the bar. people have misunderstood this. People have misunderstood this. They haven't really understood what to do to hold the bar up. So recently, over the past 3 years or so, we have been making this grip stipulation a part of the teaching method at the seminars. And we're teaching everybody now to use the narrowest grip that they can to create the good position for the bar to sit on. Elbows up creates thoracic flexion. So instead of saying elbows up, we will say keep your elbows down, with the understanding that the grip is narrow enough to produce the shelf in the back. Okay? I mean, that's kind of the...
Yeah, but let's clarify a couple things. So the instruction in the book hasn't changed. You haven't rewritten anything in the book since 2011 on this. So it's more of a there's a difference between the basic instruction and how it's cued when you're teaching it, because it's still the same grip. The thing is that how the way that people are interpreting the instruction, because elbows up is still something that we say.
If they're too low.
If they're too low. Right.
Because this is not where we want your elbows.
Right.
If your elbows are here, in other words, if your shoulders are relaxed into flexion, well, we have to say, when we say do this, the way to instruct that is elbows up.
Right.
But we don't mean that elbows need to be
jack
here.
all the way. That's right. Yeah.
So that your humerus is parallel to the floor. That's not what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the fundamental concept's the same. It's just how it's presented might change over time, and this is one of those things that has. We used to have to tell everybody,
Right.
pull your elbows up, and now everybody overdoes it, and now it's bring your elbows
down.
Well,
and it's similar to the knees out
knees
situation.
out, right.
We used to have to cue the piss out of your knees out, because everybody let their knees cave in. And over time, and over the many times that the method has been interpreted by different people, we find that in most seminars, 10% of the people in the seminar are over-correcting.
Right.
And end up in a position with their knees outside the line of the foot. This is not correct.
Yep.
It's not correct. It's not efficient, and we have to fix that. But it's not our fault. It is just drift in the cues.
Yeah.
That, it's like form creep. It's just something that changes a little in the wrong direction over time, and we've got to figure out ways to deal with it.
Yeah, as people start saying you changed the method somehow, but it hasn't changed.
Method didn't
I
change.
mean, sometimes now what we even see is people who will bend over too much and don't bend their knees at all, which is something that didn't used to happen 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
So it's just a misinterpretation and overdoing of a correction that people have seen.
Yes. Hi, Rip. I'm coaching a 13-year-old lad. A lad. Most people don't say lad anymore, do they? This guy must be UK.
He'll tell you if he is.
They always do, yeah. And I wondered if you could advise on some programming decisions. He's 13. I plan to have him just do the fucking program for as long as possible with at least 3,500 calories and 150 grams of protein, as he is a long way from an ideal body weight. He's 50 kilos currently. I'd like him to eat more, but his mom, UK, is on board with 3,500 at least. Okay. Current numbers after 2 weeks of training. They're very low. All right. Maybe worth noting, he's been remarkably coachable. He's good form for squat and deadlift. Bench press, been harder, all this shit. Okay, here's the situation, James. I know your intentions are good, but you don't start kids training until they're at least in Tanner stage 4. Tanner stage of maturational development. Look it up. Okay? I think you're trying to have a 13-year-old kid who's not ready to do the program, and he can't do that because he can't get recovered from it, and 3,500 calories is not going to help. He's not ready for it. The hormonal milieu, that's a French word, I guess.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Is not there yet. So
If he wants to
Don't
lift weights, just
leave him alone for a couple of years, and then we'll have him lift weights. All right.
or if he just wants to have fun with it. If he just wants to have
He
fun.
wants to have fun with it, but don't try to make him do the program. This is no, it's cruelty. All right. You know, it's like beating your dog every day for pissing. Anywhere. You know, you don't beat your dog for pissing. The dog got to piss. Can't hold it. This kid can't, you know, like grow like you think he ought to. All right. Given that we want to use exercises that use the most weight over the longest effective range of motion, why not use dumbbells instead of barbells for the overhead press? Because you can't use as much weight. In dumbbell presses. You know why you can't use as much weight? Because one arm is going one direction and the other arm is going another direction, and it allows you to use more weight if they're tied together. Okay? I'm a 55-year-old female with rheumatoid arthritis. I do 5 sets of 5, 2 days a week. A day is, she says, BS, which means back squat, bench press, and barbell row. B day is back squat, press, seated, and 1 set of deads. I'm weak, but I want to be strong. Many times I repeat a weight the next session or only go up by 2 pounds. I'm afraid of setting off an RA flare, and I would be too. In this situation, you are 55 and you've got an immune system disorder. Don't set off an RA flare by doing sets across. Now, your notation here doesn't tell me what I need to know, but it looks as though you're doing 5 sets of 5 across on the squat, the bench, the row, and the press. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do 1 heavy set, and that's all. Or maybe 2 sets of 3. But don't do 5 sets of 5. Don't do that. You will beat yourself up, and you're going to start a flare, and it's not going to be good, but it's going to be your fault for overtraining. You can't do that. You have to take intensity. Use the heaviest weights you can in reps, using reps that are appropriate for your situation. You're a 55-year-old female. I would probably have you just doing triples. But I wouldn't have you do more than 2 sets. In other words, 6 total reps, not 25. All right, this is after your warm-ups, obviously. But this is going to be a problem. I also agree with the twice a week thing. I think that's a good approach for it, but I don't do 5 sets of 5 across in your situation. Hi, Rip. Hope you're well.
It's nice of them.
Question.
A question.
Hope you're well. Enjoying the podcast. Just a quick question on supplements for the over 60 lifter. What are your views on creatine? Take it. Why not? 2-3 grams of creatine a day. Take it. It's not going to kill you. And anything to do with being over 60. I mean, it's in your meat that you're hopefully eating. All right, I'm 54 years old, 5'9", 170, and in very good health. Well, you're 5'9", 170, you stand to gain some weight. Started lifting. Everybody hates to hear that, though.
Yeah.
They think 5'9", 170 is healthy.
Picture of health.
Picture of health. Like that previous question where, want to be thin and shit. Anyway, I started lifting when I was 48 and consistently enjoyed squatting after reading your book. Realized I hadn't been doing it correctly or deep enough. I squat 2 1/4, bench low 200s, deadlift 270, press 115. I find that I can't do your program 3 days a week, and I've reached a point where I can't add 5 pounds each time to an exercise either. That's not the program for somebody your age. All right. We have a book that we published by Dr. Sullivan and Andy Baker called The Barbell Prescription. And I think you should get that and read that because you're approaching the program incorrectly. All right. At 54, it might not hurt you to drop back to twice a week, but I think that you could maintain a 3-day-a-week schedule if you cut back on the number of things that you're doing and you make your PRs more reasonable and don't do so damn many reps and sets and gain some weight. It's not going to hurt you to be 190 at 5'9". Ask yourself this question. You see an old guy, 70 years old. He's thin. He's got abs. Body fat's down at 10%. He runs. He's 5'9". He weighs 155 pounds. And another guy is 5'9". He lifts weights. He's carrying 20% body fat, and he weighs 200 pounds. And both of them get pneumonia because that happens when you're 70. Sometimes you get sick. Who gets out of it better? Who gets out of this thing more intact? The little skinny guy or the chubby guy? Chubby guy. Always. He's got more to fight with than the little skinny guy who's the picture of health. Just keep this in mind. Keep this in mind in this era of everyone dying of a dread disease. A dread, though novel, disease. I saw an interview the other day. It's on the thread. Some Turkish broadcaster, speaking in pretty good English, though, kept referring to the coronavirus as the novel coronavirus. Over and over, it's novel. It's novel. He didn't know what that word meant. He didn't know what, in the context, what the term was referring to. The fucking media. All those people need to be taken out and flamethrowered. They all need to be burned alive. They all need to be napalmed. That's what they need to take. The entire staff, the entire organization at CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and probably, and at this point, Fox News, except for Tucker Carlson, and take all of those people out and throw them in a hole and pump thousands of gallons of gasoline in on top of them and set them all on fire. And listen to the screams of agony because these fucking pieces of shit have destroyed the society in which we live. So they could sell ads.
We got to bring back
Tar and Feathers.
I've been watching John Adams again.
Yeah.
Remember the show from HBO?
Oh, yeah.
This miniseries.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. One of the best things that's ever been on TV.
But tarring and feathering seems extremely effective.
It makes a person scared to fuck
around.
up real bad. Sure does. Tar and Feathers, man. They used it in Deadwood. Remember that little theme in Deadwood?
Yeah, that's right.
Franklin Ijaya got tarred and feathered. Right? Shit, I forgot to be racist on all these questions. It's so much trouble. It's so much trouble being racist.
You're inherently racist. You don't have to
I'm
try.
inherently.
You don't have to try. Look at you.
Just everything comes out of my mouth is
Racist.
the function of white supremacy. White privilege.
Also, it's men's rights activist. That's what you are too.
A men's rights activist?
Yes, did you know that's a thing?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. What rights do men have?
I don't know, but
that everybody else doesn't have. Because I'm a man.
Yeah.
Well, that automatically makes you anti-feminist. So
right. How is it possible for me to feel any worse than I already did? You keep heaping these things on.
We'll try to do it, man. We'll try to do it. So go ahead. Your next.
Okay. My next racist comment is going to be, what are the two most common mistakes trainees who are white over 60 make. I was lifting 3 days a week and was hating Friday, which was day 3. I cut back to once a week, but suspect I'm detraining, but my lifts are slowly increasing week over week. I can see where a coach would sure help. How about a book?
Color is the coach?
Let's try to sell some more books.
Yeah, what color is the coach?
Yeah, what color is your coach?
First question. Right.
First question, what race is your coach? Why don't you just buy the fucking book, right, that I've already mentioned, The Barbell Prescription, Training for Life Over 40 or whatever the fuck the subtitle of the thing is, and read about this. This is not the first time a guy like you has asked this question, you know. All right? All right, let's see. I have recently had my appendix. This is the last one I'm going to do because y'all are getting bored, and so am I. I have recently had my appendix removed after a bad case of appendicitis. Let me point out the fact that there are no good cases of appendicitis. The doctor had to perform the surgery by using the older method of removal, 2 to 3 inch cut through the stomach wall to remove the offending organ, just like mine. Just like mine.
Why would they do that in 2020?
I don't know.
It's just too far.
If the damn thing's too fat, they can't do it with the scope. They got to pull it out.
Right.
They got to go in there and clip it off,
Sure.
suture it closed, and jerk it out. But if the thing's, you know,
Grapefruit size.
looks like a spleen or
appendix.
something like that, they got to jerk it out through the hole. Then they want to squeeze the pus out of it after it's being. Right. Look, that's the way I had mine done back in '89 or whenever the hell it was. I'm currently recovering. Let's start getting out of the bar again. Well, you precious thing. Fabio Tintinal.
When was the surgery?
Fabio.
3 years ago?
Recently.
Oh, recently. Okay.
So 3 years ago.
Recently. All right. Here was this is what I did. All right. I got sick Tuesday. I remember this real clearly. Got sick on Tuesday. Felt like shit. Woke up, something's wrong. Couldn't tell. Just kind of abdominal. No specific place. Got worse Tuesday. Got worse Wednesday. Thursday is pretty bad. Went to the doctor. Back then, back in the 80s, you could just go to the doctor. I walked into the doctor. Said, I feel like shit. He laid me down on the table and said, what are your symptoms? I described them. And then he did the tympanic test. You ever had that done?
Oh, yeah.
Which does it hurt worse if you push down, when I push down or when I let go? When you let go, you got a hot appendix. Who do you want to take it out? I said, like when? He said, like now. And I knew a surgeon. So I told him. He called the guy. He went in his office, called the guy. Rippetoe's got a hot appendix. He told me, go to the gym, get your shit together, and be at the hospital at 6 o'clock. And it's about 4. So I got somebody to drive me to the hospital. But 6th, Thursday, and he took the thing out. And let me think. That was Thursday night. I think back then they kept you in the hospital a day or two. So I was in the hospital till Friday. I think I got out Friday. They thought I was all right, so they sent my ass home. Saturday, I mowed the yard. No, Sunday I mowed the yard. Monday, I squatted and bench pressed. Light weights, but I squatted and bench pressed. So that was 4 days post-op. Squatted and bench pressed. Wore a belt. Hurt. Everything's fine. Never had any trouble with it. Took a while longer to deadlift. But that's what I did. So Why don't you do the same thing? Look, here's the general organizing principle of injuries, all right? You don't let them heal. You make them heal because it works better. Trust me on this. We've talked about this a lot. You make things heal. You make them heal up while performing the function you would like for them to perform when they're healed up. And that's just what you have to do, because if you do it any other way, everything's going to be bad, all right?
And if he's more than 6 weeks post-op, all this shit's closed up.
That's
It's
all
fine.
healed
It's
up.
done.
He's just, he just doesn't want to do it because it's going to hurt.
Sure.
I understand that. I don't like to do shit that hurts either. If I refuse to do anything that hurt, I wouldn't get a hell of a lot of anything done. Right? Okay. Anybody else have anything to add to that? You got anything you'd like to say, Rusty?
No, I'm good.
Nick, you got anything you'd like to say?
That was refreshingly racist.
It was. Oh, forgot to be racist again. Oh, you other races, fuck you. How's that?
Perfect.
Is that good? Does that look sincere?
Yes. I'm offended.
Well, good. You're offended. You're another race, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a brown person. What is it? And Bree's what? We decided she was Italian. They're a
Greek or Italian.
Greek or Italian, a
Whatever
Mediterranean.
hairy arm.
She's
thing is.
Mediterranean,
Yeah.
hairy, dark hair, female, big, thick brow ridges.
Golly.
That's racism.
Roasting her.
That's racism. You got anything you'd like to say, Bree?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we're good too, and we hope you're good as well. So we'll see you next time right here on Starting Strength Radio.